Welcome back for another video. So in today's video, I'm just going to be cleaning out some of my aquaponic filters, specifically these four over here, and then one of my DWC grow beds, which is that guy over there. So it's going to take a little bit. Mainly, I think the longest part is just going to be draining the water out of the tanks and into the rest of the system, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing in this video. So as mentioned, I'll be draining out or cleaning out these four filters right here. And then this DWC system on this side. Got a bunch of plants I'll have to take out and move in the other one. But there's a bunch of gunk that has accumulated at the bottom. So the first thing I need to do is actually drain this one out. Right now I am filling the other one, which is over here. So this is the other DWC tank I have on the system currently. So I'm filling it up right now. I drained it out. So basically what I need this sump tank to empty a good amount of the water into here. And then I can drain this guy out and then the rest of those tanks into the sump tank down here. There was a bunch of gunk in this one. I didn't have the air stones on in this tank, so a bunch of gunk did accumulate in it, accumulate at the bottom of here. So I'm gonna assume there's a good amount of gunk at the bottom of this one, which I'll clean out using a shop vac. And the same thing on the filters over there. I'll drain most of the clean water out and then suck up the gunk and put it somewhere else. But you can see those are what I'm gonna be working on. So now it's just a waiting game. I got this pump hooked onto here, which is gonna be draining this tank slowly. After that tank is filled over there, I will turn off my pump so I can start draining these guys out, because it's all hooked up to these guys over here. So it's just going to take a process of waiting until the water is down and then I can start sucking it up. So you can see here, right here at the bottom over here, there's no gunk because this is where the water enters. But over there, you can see all that gunk just accumulated either from the roots or from it passing through the filters, since these filters are technically not big enough for the amount of water that flows through them. But you can see all that gunk, so I'll clean that out. I'll move these plants back into the other DWC systems. I want to keep these. There's some kind of fern. I forget the name of them. But you can see those guys. There's these ones, which are pretty cool. And then there's some fairies moss and duckweed in here. Eventually, I will separate them out and grow them in separate tanks. But right now, I just have them in here. So something else I just noticed is all these marks on my fiberglass tank, which weren't here before. You can see all that. Those have gone down to past the gel coat into the fiberglass area, but you can see all those marks. So I'm gonna assume what caused it is I had all of these PVC pipes inside of here for crayfish and whatnot, and probably what happened is when I had these air pumps on, it caused them to rotate, and the friction caused it to scrape off some of that gel coat and move down into there. So that's pretty crazy, and it's a good thing I noticed it now before it got too deep. So that's just something to take into note. I guess it just somehow these air stones created a rotation that caused it to rub against the fiberglass. So I got all those plants in here. So now it's just a matter of waiting for water to drain in those different tanks. And also I just mentioned those things. Another thing I also noticed is from the air stones, it actually made a mark as well. So I'll probably be taking this out and doing something else that doesn't vibrate as much, causing it to have friction on the fiberglass tank and remove the gel coat, which isn't good. It looks like that's the only spot, but you never know. I got some algae growing now that the rafts aren't on top. I got the rafts out here. I just gotta clean them out, power wash them down, and then I have plants that I'm preparing for them. Got them in the plugs, mainly lettuce in there. So we'll see from there. So we got this tank pretty much drained down to the bottom. So I'll start vacuuming this out, all this gunk. Just got to move all these rafts. Problem is putting them somewhere. See all those roots though. So I got the four rafts with the parsley moved out of the way. So now I can start cleaning it. It's not as dirty as this one was over there, but it's still got some gunk at the bottom. So I'll suck that up. I might suck some more of the water out and just put it back into the system with the pump. So I might clear some area out over here because it's deeper on this side than over there, since my leveling wasn't the greatest. But then you can see the roots on that parsley. Pretty clean. So time to start cleaning. So we got majority of the good water being drained out. You can see all that sludge down there. Still draining it with the pump over here. So I got the pump at the lowest point. I took off the protective screen and just have it sucking from there at the bottom. So I should be able to suck a good amount of this water out and then just get this gunk. Probably have to stop it before all this sludge that's moving over there gets towards the pump. You can see it all coming down towards this area. But this way I save a majority of the good water and then can just get this gunk out and put it on the plants or use it for the plants as fertilizer. I got this shop vac that I'm borrowing from a friend. I have it out here. And then I'll try to capture some of the water after I drain it out into a bucket and put it where the plants are. That's pretty much what I'm going to be using to be sucking all the sludge out of that tank. And after I'm done with that, just got to start filling it with water, put these rafts back in. We got that all nice and cleared out. I have water entering now from over there. Once this is filled up, then I'll start to work on the filters over there. Because basically I need this water to drain down so I can empty out water from there into here. So after this guy's filled up, which I think is like 500 gallons or something like that, maybe 300. So yeah, it's about 500 gallons. So now that that's cleaned out, I didn't have to empty out this guy yet during the process. It holds 16 gallons, so now that I'm done with that, I'll empty it out into this bucket and then water some of the trees or whatnot with it. See how much waste I got in there. See how nasty that water is. I didn't get all of it out yet. I think I messed like 5 gallons of it anyways when I opened that up. It doesn't have a valve, so it's hard to close it off after. Otherwise, basically that's the gunk. I'll just put it on the plants and it should be perfect fertilizer. So I now have the system off. There's no more water flowing into these 4 filters over here. So I can start draining the water out of them into the rest of the system, and then I can suck up all the gunk that's at the bottom of these tanks. I got the pump in there now. This will drain all 3 of these tanks, and then I'll have to drain this one separately. So the water's just going back into the system and then down into the sump. And then you can kind of make out the gunk at the bottom. The water's drained now from these tanks. This one included, well, a good amount of it. And then what I'll do is, since I have it hooked up to some plumbing that will allow me to drain it out of the greenhouse, so basically the water from those tanks, I can have it come out over here. So what I'll do is I'll fill up a bucket, turn it off over there, and then dump this on the plants, which will be perfect fertilizer. So this allows it to be easy to clean. The only long part is draining the tanks. I mean, if I wanted to waste more water, I could just open it up and have it all drain out, which would be super fast at cleaning it. But then that's a waste of the good water. So this way, I'll save a good amount of the water by draining it out back into the aquaponic system, and then just get all the gunk. There's actually 2 goldfish in here. Goldfish from this tank. This big tank over here had some babies. So there's 2 in here. I'll have to catch when I drain it out. So I'll work on this one first. So I got a little standpipe here. I just got to pull out. So now the water can drain out from the bottom over there. And then all I got to do is open this guy up right here. And then it's going to go in that bucket. So here we have that water coming out of the tank over there. So the pipe just goes there and then along to over there. So there's a bunch of sludgy water. I have to put the phone down for a sec. So I got the next bucket on here. Probably be easier if I have a valve on here. I can shut it off and then do that. So that water's cleaner. So that's pretty much all the water. Now I just gotta wash out that sludge. Saw the fish down there somewhere. Must have gone down the pipe. So that's overflowed. There should be a fish in here. I'm pretty sure, unless he's in the pipe somewhere, but that was a small goldfish. I don't think it fell down yet. So I'll dump these out. So here we got that little goldfish. The other one I caught before, it was bigger. My garden hose just barely makes it, but now that I got that, I can just spray all this down. That should go out the pipes. This tank is all nice and clean. I got the pipe back in there. So that worked pretty well. As I mentioned, it would go faster if I just drain all the water out over there instead of using a pump, but this way I save more water doing this way. So now I gotta drain out these ones, which is gonna be the same thing. This one's got a bunch of gunk down there, you can see that. Also, but a difference I made for this one is I do have a valve over here now. So now I can open it over there, and then I can fill a bucket, move another bucket in, fill a bucket. This way it's easier instead of making a mess. I'm gonna get a mess anyways since that is lower than the bucket, but at least not as much. So on this one it's the same thing. I have a valve at the bottom, but I'll stir all this stuff up so it can just go out easily. And then this one's valve is harder to reach actually. It's all the way down over here. You can see the valve over there. So that's the valve. I just got to open that up and the water will start draining. So I got that valve. The water's going down the pipe. Probably stop now because the valve I have on that end over there. So we got this little setup over here. As I said, I just got to open this. And there we go. As simple as that. So we got this one nice and clean, sucked up the rest of it from this one with a shop vac. As you can see, it's got that pipe sticking up so it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So now the last one to clean is this guy right here. It's got a lot of gunk down there. Can make that out. So I'll spray it out and then probably use the shop vac to get the rest of it, because I think it has the same thing at the bottom. So I got all those sponges cleaned up, or the filter brushes, and then the Metalamat that were in this filter right here. I got the valve closed off over there. So now I'll drain all this gunk out, and that should be pretty much done. This filter and that filter are actually not done. They're supposed to be radial flow filters, and then they would have these sponges around them, but this one doesn't have the radial part in it. Neither does this one. I just stuck this on here so the water doesn't come up back through here, but those are both not done, but they did capture a fair amount of solids. This one did capture quite a bit because of all those sponges in there, so that did pretty well. It would do a lot better if it was a radial flow filter with the sponges around. So that's pretty much that guy. Let me drain this out and I'll be pretty much done. Well, it kind of fell apart when I was turning the valve, so all the water just coming out. Nothing's glued. So it just came up and then it squirted everywhere, so now it's just going out here. It's not bad, it's going to the apple tree, so. Got that last tank cleaned up, just gotta put those sponges back in and then we're all done. So we got this one cleaned, this guy nice and clean over there, this guy all clean. This one I didn't really need to clean, it's a moving bed biofilter, so it shouldn't have gunk accumulated at the bottom since it's constantly flowing. And I got that tank all cleaned up. I got all the sponges in there. I might add some more in here. I think I have some lying around. Well, I guess not sponges, but filter brushes and the Metalamat, which do a good job. The filter brushes caught a bunch. The Metalamat actually did. I mean, most of the gunk was at the bottom, so only the bottom parts of these things had gunk on them, but I think they did a fairly good job. All right, well, that pretty much sums up this video. Just did a little bit of cleaning on the aquaponic system, these filters, and then my DWC system. So pretty simple. It did take a little bit of time. Otherwise, got to do that once in a while. Ideally, it would be nice if I had a mineralization tank set up so I can put that gunk in there, then reuse it for the aquaponic system just to maximize the nutrients in there, but I don't have that yet, so maybe later on in the future. Otherwise, if you do have any questions or comments, remember to leave those below, and I'll get to those when I can, and thank you for watching.